Hey everyone, welcome back to this Python series. My name is Ansh Patania, and today we are going to learn some core concepts of Python, which is strings and conditional statements. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Before we type our first line of code, why are strings and conditionals so important in real software development? Whether you want to build web applications with Django or fast API, create automated scripts, or process prompts for AI models like ChatGPT. About 80% of data flowing through the internet is raw text. Knowing how to validate and make decisions based on text is the foundation of almost every real world backend system. Thinking of a thinking of a string as a train, where every single character includes space and punctuation, is sitting in a uniquely numbered seat. In programming, we always start counting at zero. This position number is called an index. If you want to pull out just the very first letter, the P in the Python, I wrap the index number in square brackets right next to our variable name. Let's understand with this example. Here, course is equals to Python programming. Here's a major trap that catches every beginner at least once. What happens if you try to pull an index that doesn't exist? Watch this. If I type print course 100 and run it, Python throws an index error. Let's understand this practically. Print course 100. Let's run this. Let's comment this out first. There is an index error. Why does this happen? Because Python memory allocation are exact. It stops counting where the string ends. Always double check your text length using len course if you aren't sure how long a string is. Here, negative index. Let's delete this first. Uncomment this. So now, negative index is a lifesaver when you have a massive piece of text and you don't know exactly how long it is. But you need to grab the very last letter, very last character. -1 gives you the last item, -2 gives you the second to the last, and so on. Now, what if we want to extract a whole chunk of text instead of a single letter? That is called slicing. To slice a string, we specify a range inside the square brackets using a colon. Start, colon, and stop. But here's a trick that trips us almost every beginner. Yeah, here's the example of slicing. Subranges extract slice using start, colon, stop. Range format crucial. Python excludes the final stop cell. Python will excludes the stop number. Let's understand this. Python includes the starting index, but it excludes the stopping index. It goes up to, but not including that final number. It will not include the stop number. Let's understand with this example. First, let's run this code. Here, course 0. The index is 0. It print P. Python programming's P, the first letter. Because we start counting from 0, 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here 7 is the programming, P. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And minus 1. Minus 1, as I told you earlier, minus 1 is the last character of the string, G. Now let's understand slicing with some examples. Print course. Oh, wait. Print course 0 to 6. And print course 6. Print seven. Now let's understand this. First, I want you to pause this video right now for 10 seconds and test yourself. Look at course is equals to Python programming. In your terminal, write a slice that extracts just the word gram. Did you figure it out? The slice is course square brackets 10 colon 14. Index 10 is G and index 14 is the boundary M, which gets excluded. If you got that right, drop a comment down below. Now let's run this code. In the first one, we have course 0 to 6. It grabs the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count this. P is 0, first letter. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Look at this. It has print Python. Next, leaving the left side blank automatically defaults this 0. This and this, both same. Now leaving the right side blank automatically goes to the very end. It will go from 7th position to the end. From it will print programming. This word. And this is called step slicing. Reverses the entire string. It just reverses the entire string. This is for reversing the entire string. The P comes at the end. P, Y, T, H, O, N, Python. Look at this. Look at the results. Look at the output. Now, Python string have built-in superpowers called methods. These are built-in tools that let us alter, clean up, or analyze text instantly without rewriting the logic yourself. Yeah, here are the string power of methods. Let's look at why these are vital for handling user input safely. Let me explain with an example. Clear this out. User input. Imagine a user is logging into your app. They accidentally type an extra space before their username, or they capitalize a letter by mistake. If you code if your code checks for an exact match, they'll get an error and get logged out. Methods like dot strip and dot lower fix that messy data before we process it. Here is a critical point that interviewers love to ask about strings in Python. Here is a critical point that interviews love to ask about. String in Python are immutable. That means strings method do not change the original variable. If I print user slash input again after calling user slash input dot string, notice that user underscore input still has spaces. String methods return a brand new string. If you want to permanently update the variable, you have to reassign it like this. User underscore input is equals to user underscore input dot strip. Now let's print this out here. Print user underscore input dot upper. Upper is used for to make the admin user slash input to capitalize the whole string, and as same as upper, the lower works opposite. User underscore input dot lower will lower the whole string, and or check if the string is lower or not. And strip is used to remove surrounding spaces. Now let me show you the output of how to change the input permanently. user user input. First let me print the user input. Yeah, it is same as this one. Now we have to permanently change this. How can we do? We have to assign the value user input dot strip. Now let's print this again. Now as you can see, the user underscore input is permanently changed because I assigned the user input dot strip. I've reassigned the value. That's how you can change the variable value permanently, by reassigning it. Now back in the day, if you wanted to mix variables and hard code yeah, text together in a print statement, you had to use a bunch of plus signs, and you constantly had to convert numbers to strings manually. It looked incredibly mess. Today we use f strings. Let me explain you with this an example. Oh wait. Username Ansh. Let's take Rahul. Status online. But let's use F key. Username is currently let's print this. Here, user Rahul is currently online. Now, S strings aren't just for variables. You can execute like Python expresses inside the curly braces. For example, you can do maths. Print f, you use it by using f string. F next year you will be in brackets in curly braces. You can do 20 plus 1 years old. I can show you that. Print f next year you will be 20 plus 1 years old. Let's run the code. Next year you will be 21. 20 plus 1 is 21. And here is a secret developer debugging shortcut added in Python 3.8. If you add an equal sign like user in curly braces, user is equals to, Python prints both the variable name and its values automatically. That saves so much time when troubleshooting. Now that we know how to manipulate text, let's look at how to give our code the ability to make choices. Conditional statements act like a fork in the road. If a condition evaluates to true, the code takes one path. If it's false, it skips it and look for the next option. Let's understand with this example. Notice there are three major structural rules here. First, we use the double equals to sign here for comparison. A single equals to sign means assigning a value to a variable. A double equals sign asks Python, are those two things equal? Second, look at the column here, here, and here. At the end of the each line. Third, Python use indentation to know which print statement belongs to which decision. Here, this is called the indentation. The tab space we give. Yeah, the tab space we give. If you remove this, you can add tab. The tab space is called indentation. Here's a deeper concept. In Python, every value has an implicit Boolean truth value. Empty strings, the number 0, and empty lists are evaluated as false. Everything else with data in it evaluates as true. So instead of writing if len in brackets user underscore input is greater than 0, professional developers often write if user input colon. If the user typed nothing, Python treats the empty string as false automatically. Now, what if a decision requires checking multiple things at the same time? We use logical operators and, or, and not. Let's combine this and with the in keyword, which checks if a piece of text exists inside a larger string. Let's understand with this an example. Here, this is how Python thinks under the hood during evaluation. Python uses short circuits. In an in an AND statement, if the first check in email input turns out to be false, Python doesn't even bother running the second check. It stops immediately because the overall statement can never be true. This makes your code run faster and prevents unnecessary processing. In Python 3.10, developers got a shiny new tool called match case. If you know other languages, this is Python's version of a switch case statement. When you have a single variable and you want to compare it against a specific list of values, match case is much cleaner than writing long chains of if, elif, else. Let's Let me explain you this with an example. This is the format for this is the syntax for the match case. You can note it down. First, you have to write match, and then with an indentation, you have to write cases in it. is the error? You have to give a space here. What is the issue? User. Oh, written here user role. Look at how relatable this is. Match user tells Python what variable to inspect. Case admin checks for an exact match. Notice the pipe symbol. In this line, in the case editor and line author, that works as an OR. This is an OR operator. This line is an OR operator. And the underscore case at the bottom here, this is the underscore case at the bottom, at the very end. That is the wildcard default case, which acts just like an else block for anything we didn't expectly match. This works like an else case, which comes at the very bottom. Now, a question I get asked a lot is when I use match case versus regular if else. Use match case when checking one variable against specific exact value or distinct categories. Use if else when evaluating range or complex logics, like checking if age is greater than 18 and income is greater than or equals to 50,000. Choice of tool depends on the code readability. It depends on you, how you read the code, how you understand the code. It only depends on that. Now, before we jump into our practical problem solving lab, I want you to intentionally break our code on screen, so you know how to read the terminal and fix common errors without panic. Now let me write a code first. Now, can you tell me the error here? What is the error? What do you think? Now, look at the terminal here. Syntax error, invalid syntax. Look at it. Syntax error, invalid syntax. Notice how Python points a tiny arrow right at our mistake. Fix number 1. Change the single equals to the comparison operator. Double equals to. Fix number 2. Add a colon right there. You can see that. Maybe you meant a double equals to and a colon there. That's how you can fix this. Let me show you how to fix this. You just have to add double equals to and a colon here. Now your code will run. Yeah, you can see that. Now problem number 2. Now we see an indentation error. Python is telling us that any code meant to run inside an if statement must be pushed inward. You have to hit the tab button here and add 4 spaces on that print line. If you don't want to add a tab, you can add 4 spaces by giving space by clicking the space button. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you can do that and run it again. The error will be gone. You can see that. Let's look at one more bug that trips every beginner. Let me first write a code and then we'll see. Now look at this. The type error can only concatenate string, not int. Now understand this. Python is strongly typed. If you refuses it automatically glue a number onto text using plus sign. You have two ways to fix this. Either wrap age in str. You can fix this by using strn. You can do this. You should. Wait. We have to add one more bracket here. That's how you can do that. You can wrap the age with a string. And there is a second method also. Or you can convert it into an f string. Print f user age is age. Always prefer f string. That is more practical and easier. You can I told you earlier how to use f string. User age is this is how you can do that. Always prefer f string. We have reached the practical lab session. We are going to spend the rest of this hour tackling for four real world coding problems using IPO, input process output model, which I told you earlier about. Pause the video right now. Now I introduce each problem. Try to write the solution yourself and then unpause to compare your code with mine. Now, our first challenge is the automated email sanitizer and validator. In real apps, user types messy data into forms. Our first challenge is to accept a raw email input, clean up any accidental trailing spaces, remove case sensitive issues, and verify that it contains an @ symbol and a dot extension. Now let's type our code and then I'll explain you the code. First, let's first our method first method according to IPO model is to take inputs. So our input will be raw email. This will be our input. Our next step will be process. What is the logic behind this? Now we have written the process using if else statement conditional logic. Now our next step is to take an clean output. We are going to use the f string method. Let's run our code. Now the first time type in my email that look I have typed entered xyz7 at the rate gmail.com with let's it it shows valid email format. Let's run this code again and let me type my gmail at the rate gmail.com with some extra spaces. I've entered with some extra spaces. Now the output is clean. This is the valid email format because of the strip method we have used in the clean email. This is the logic. Because of this, my email is good now, and with my my first letter of the I've entered the email. My first letter was a capital letter. It has lowered the letter because I've put lower method in the logic. Now notice in line third, the raw underscore email dot strip dot lower. This is called method chaining. Python reads left to right. Python will read left to right. It strips the spaces first and then and then creates a clean string and then converts that result to lowercase all in a single line. It keeps your code concise and professional. This will keep your code concise. It will keep your code clean. Now you can match your answer with this. If your code is running well and good, or you can debug that by using this code. Now let's move to our second problem. Our second problem is the smart password strength checker. Now problem number 2 is a security component. We will evaluate a password. If it's less than 6 characters, it's flagged as weak. If it's 6 or more characters and contains a special character hash, it's flagged as strong. Otherwise, it's categorized as medium. First, let me run the code. Let me write the code for you guys. You can pause the video right now and solve it by yourself, and then you can check. password. Input will be password from user. We are taking the input from user. Enter new password, and now we have to write the process, the logic, the main logic. Password length. There is a mistake. Let me cross check this. There is mistake in the code. Let's create a random code. At the rate. The password rating is medium. Okay. Let's add hash in this. Hash. Yeah, the password rating is strong. Now let me explain. Here I have taken an input from user, the password, and the len function, the len method is used to measure the length of the password, whether it is 6, 7, what is the length of the password, so that we can check the strength. And on the basis of length, we are going to give the strength measure weak, strong, medium. On the basis of password length, we're going to give that. Now here we have used conditional statements if, elif, else. If password length is less than 6, it will be weak. If the password length is less than 6, let me run the code to explain you. Let's enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is less than 6. Here you can see that password analyzed rating is weak or too short. It is too short for password. Now come to the next condition. Next condition is password length is greater than or equals to 6. It will be greater than 6 or equals to 6. And if we are using hash symbol in the password, it means it is strong. We can add the rate also. And in passwords we can use add the rate also. Wait. Let's use hash and add the rate. Yeah. Wait. Let's take hash symbol for now. We can do this instead. No, we cannot do that. Let me create a password first. This medium. Yeah, we can put one in this. Yeah. Now, if we are using hash symbol, the password will be strong, or we can put we have to give more than 6 letters in the password to make a strong password. Now the last condition is else. For the medium, you have to put at least 6 or greater than 6. If you are not entering hash symbol or any special symbol in the password, it will be medium. The strength of the password will be medium. Now let's come to our next problem number 3. First, let me tell you something. In real cybersecurity system, password validation happens in stages. Checking the length first before doing heavier checks saves server compute time. As you can see here, we are checking the length first. And if a password fails the basic length, here if the password fails the basic length, here we have put that value 6. The server rejects it instantly without running the complex. In simple words, the server will reject the password if you are entering less than 6 letters. It will be weak, too short. It will show weak password and too short. You have to re-enter the password. Okay. Now let's come to the third problem. Problem number 3 simulates an e-commerce checkout. A user bill has a total bill of $100 or 100 rupees. They can enter a promo code. We will use Python's match case statement to check their code and apply the correct discount. Here we can use if statement and case statement both, but we're gonna do this with match case statement. In code solution, you can see you can do by yourself with an if else conditional statements. I will show you with match case. Now, first let me write the code and then I'll explain you. Oh, wait. Total bill. We're going to take the input of total bill. Total bill is 100 and the coupon will take input. The total bill is constant here. You can take input also, but in this I'm only going to take input of coupon. Enter promo code. Here we can use chaining method. Upward. The promo code will be always in upper cases. Now we have to write the process, the main logic. I've already explained the syntax of the maths case. Here I've done a mistake. We don't have to print the value here directly. We can assign the value. Discount. We have to calculate that later. We have to calculate the discount later. So we have to assign the value. Discount. Message you can give. Message is equals to 20% discount. Right. Discount is equals to 10%. Message 10% discount applied, and here discount will be 0. Message is equals to no. Code applied case. This is called the default case. Default case, it works same like as else in the conditional statement. Now we have to calculate the output. No, first we have to calculate the final bill. And total bill minus discount. Now we can print the final output here. We are going to use F string. Yes, we are going to print the status, and then we are going to print your final total is final price. Now let's run our code. First, enter the first coupon C20. Here, you can see that I have entered save in lower letters, but it has already it automatically converted the coupon in upper letters. Because of this, because of we have written the coupon is equals to input dot upper. We have used the upper method to change the input, the promo code. It works. It will work same as save 20 in capital letters if we enter small letters. Now let's enter welcome in welcome 10. Look at this. We have entered in small letters, but it converted it. It already converted it in capital letters, as you can see. Now let me explain the code. Our total bill is 100. You can take an input from the user, but I've took it directly. That it makes easier. We have taken the input of coupon. We have applied the strip and the upper method here using chaining method, and we have used match case. You can also use if else, but here we have used match case. By if else you can do it by yourself. I've told you how to use that. Here we have used F string. Now let's, and you can notice that how we have used strip and upper right on the input line. That is a defensive programming. Never trust a user to be clean. Always normalize the text before sending it to a decision block like match case. Now let's move to our final problem. Let me clear this out. Yeah. Let's move to a final problem. Our final problem is a foundational look at natural language praising. We want to process a customer review block. If the text contains words like good, great, or love, we classify it as positive. If it contains bad, broken, or hate, it's flagged as negative. Otherwise, it's neutral. First, let's write our code, and then I'll explain it to you. We're going to take the input of review here. Review will be input. Input is paste the customer review text here. It will be in lowercase. Here we have used lower method. Now the process. Here we are going to use if else conditional statements. If good, then review, or great in review, or love in review, sentiment positive, elif bad in review, sentiment will be negative. Else neutral. Now let's print our output. We also going to use f string. Review analysis. This feedback is sentiment. It's an R code. Let's write good. Yeah, the feedback is positive. Here you can see that we have used the lower, so it directly converted the capital letters into small letters, and it is working. Let's write something else bad. Here this is a negative feedback, and let's write something else. Nice. Let's write nice. This feedback is neutral. So you can see how it is working. This is such an easy code. What we built here is a rule-based sentiment engine. While modern AI models like ChatGPT use advanced machine learning, early sentiment analysis engine revealed heavily on keyboard scanning combined with conditional branch, just like this, the conditional branch. Yeah, just like this. You write the condition branch. That's all. These are the 4 problems I've solved. You can solve it by yourself. And there are so many problems on Google. You can search and solve them. And that completely wrap up our second lecture. In this past hour, you mastered Python string slicing, string methods, conditional blocks, and modern match case statements. And you put them all into practice across 4 real world software features. That is an immense amount of progress for a single session. The best way to lock this knowledge into your muscle memory is to experiment on your own local setup. Try combining these challenges together. In lecture 3rd, we are going to dive into list and tuples, learning how to store structures and manipulate collection of data in Python. Thank you for watching.